Jai Masih. Jai Masih. I thank God for this wonderful opportunity. I'm very happy. You see, when I stand here, I feel that I came back again in my home. I mean, I was here before 13 years. I was working together here. But God has a different plan, different way. So we take it as a God's desire. And so I have a different... but here, I requested our professor to say something about the Nepali Christian Journal. Maybe intentionally, unintentionally, he didn't like to say, but I would like to. Okay. I like to say, Nepali Christian Journal, we have we produce up to 11. Yeah. So it's started in 2013 in Acts and for the development of the Nepali church. So there are many good writers have written the article. So actually, professor wants to give up, and I said no, we should charge a little bit. So we have volume 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't have 9. We have 10 and 11. So if you like to have these books, we have 46. One set which are 500, but with your permission. Okay, not one book 500, whole set. Okay, 500. So that's just for the other expenses that you are welcome to take it. And if it is very useful, you can use for the ministry. I believe it's very useful. Okay, thank you. And this time, while I was in Acts, our respected professor, he always encouraged me to write. Not only me, to all of us. The college students write something. And I'm not good in writing, but I'm good in talking, but I'm not good in writing. And then, because of his encouragement, I have written something today, like Nepali Christian theology in the process of making. The topic may sound different, but I want to write about the mark of Nepali Christian church or Nepali Christian theology. But while I was thinking to write in that paper, I found out something about the caste system in the church. So maybe today's topics can be a little bit more focused on the caste. Because of the caste discrimination in our Nepal, we see there are problem of society. We see social justice and so many other challenging aspects. So it may not be deal all of those things, but I will little bit explain about the caste system in the church. Okay, let's see. I have written 10 pages, but I may not be able to present all 10 pages, so I will be reading. You may have so many questions. I have very well respected and well educated in theology. He will be answering Q&A, and my professor also will have. I'll be just listening. Okay, let me read. Introduction part. Nepali Christian theology is an evolving field emerging in a prominently Hindu and Buddhist context. While Christianity remains a minority faith in Nepal, the church is growing, and with it, a distinctly Nepali Christian theological discourses is taking shape. This theological expression is marked by interaction between Christian doctrine, which is based on the Bible, and the culture, social and religious context of Nepal. It seeks to address the challenges faced by the Nepali people, primarily caste-based discrimination, religious plurality, poverty, and suffering. This paper explores the various aspects of Nepal Christian theology with a special emphasis on how caste system affects the church. Doubtlessly to say that the Nepali Christian theology is a blend of Christian doctrine contextualized within the Nepali culture, religious and social framework. Sometimes Christian leaders and theologians struggle to distinguish between Hindu and Buddhist. Hindu and Buddhist religious ideology and purely cultural framework. Adoptionism and contextualization of the Gospel's engagement with the differing worldview, especially that of Hindu and Buddhist, facing hostility and persecution while witnessing power, encounters and healing and deliverance, identify and conversion, differing denominational viewpoints, changing dynamics of theological education and leadership training, rising cult and false teaching, economic concern, social political engagement can be regarded as some of the part of prominent issues facing Nepali Christian theology today. Moreover, what is unique to this is the issue of casteism within the church. The casteism is an entrenched social system that has historically divided the Nepali society. The struggle against these issues within the church prompt for a broader effort to make Christianity relevant and transformative in a Nepali context. This paper discusses contextualizing theology, casteism in the church, dialogues with the Hindu and Buddhist tradition, liberation theology and social justice, inculturation in worship and liturgy, the role of suffering in Nepali Christian theology, creation care and environmental ethics, and the theological education in Nepali churches in order. Seems very broad, okay? Seems very broad, but it is just a framework. And I'm saying I'm developing this paper to be a better in futures. Okay, just for the various aspects of Nepali Christian theology, contextualizing theology. Nepali Christian theology emphasizes a contextualization by reinterpreting a Christian doctrine to resonate within Nepali culture. For example, themes like Jesus as a liberator addresses caste oppressions, while the doctrine of Imago Dei challenges the hierarchical caste systems, affirming the dignity of all individuals. Theologians engage with both Dalit and upper caste perspectives, though the latter often faces criticism for overlooked to caste oppression. Number 2, casteism in the church. Caste-based discrimination persists even within the Nepali churches, contradicting Christians' message of equality. Social prejudice affects leadership role, worship practices, unity, creating barriers to inclusivity. Efforts are underway to address this issue through repentance and inclusivity policies and transformational leadership, though progress seems very slow. Dialogues with the Hindu and Buddhist tradition. Nepali Christian theology critically and constructively engages with Hindu and Buddhist worldviews, particularly the concept like karma and moksha. It criticizes the caste systems while finding a common ground in values like compassion and justice, aiming to offer the gospel-centered vision for the radical equality. Liberation theology and social justice. It's a big sense, but I will be developing in future, but very brief. Liberation theology resonates strongly with the Dalit Christian, drawing on biblical narratives like the Exodus to address the caste oppression. It advocates for social justice and transformation through internal disagreements, particularly, little bit in political war, between Marxist and evangelical approaches, poses challenges. Number 5, inculturation in worship and liturgy. By incorporating Nepali culture's elements like the traditional instruments and architectures, the church seeks to overcome the perception of Christianity as a foreign religion. However, inculturation must avoid a syncretism and address caste hierarchies that can infiltrate worship. Number 6, the role of suffering. Nepali Christian theology views suffering as a transformative process. For marginalized groups, Christ's passions offer a solidarity and hope, encouraging them to see their suffering as a part of God's redemptive work, leading to justice and liberation. Creation and care, environment ethics in number 7. Environmental stewardship is emphasized as a Christian responsibility, especially in a country where ecological degradation affects the poorest community. Theology connects creation care with broader social justice efforts. Number 8, theological education and the church. A strong partnership between theological education and the local churches equips leaders to address Nepal's complex social and religious challenges. This theological education integrates a contextual theology, interfaith dialogues, and practical ministry, fostering unity and empowering leaders for transformative ministry. In conclusion, Nepali Christian theology is a rich and complex field shaped by the unique culture, social and religious context of Nepal. At its core, this theology seeks to articulate a vision of liberation and justice and inclusivity grounded in the gospel of message of equality, justice, and love. However, the church in our society in Nepal faces significant challenges, particularly on confronting casteism in an entrenched social system that continues to affect even Christian communities. Through its emphasis on contextualization, liberation theology, and inculturation, Nepali Christian theology is working to address these challenges, offering a vision of a church and society where people, regardless of caste or social status, are valued equally as children of God. As the church continues to grow and evolve, it has a potential to be a powerful force for social transformation, not only by preaching the gospel, but by living out in a ways that challenges injustice and promote human dignity. Nepali churches may reach more marginalized groups by embodying the gospel. The authentic gospel is not merely proclaimed, but is also manifested in our daily lives. Rather than employing a distorted gospel that offers illusory hope to lure the suffering, where Christians should generally exemplify the gospel transcends all caste and racial boundaries. To fully realize this potential, the church must continue to confront its own internal contradiction and work towards greater inclusivity, both in its worship practices and its community life. Only by doing so can it offer a credible witness to be a transformative power of the gospel in Nepali complex and diverse society. Nepali Christian theology seeks to articulate a vision of liberation, justice, and inclusivity grounded in the gospel. By confronting casteism, engaging with other traditions, and promoting a social transformation, the church can embody the transformative power of the gospel in Nepal's in diverse society. As the church continues to grow, it must ensure that its internal practice reflects its message, offering a credible witness to the hope of Christ. Thank you. May God bless you.